Hello, boys and girls, and I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. So, today we're actually going to continue talking about symbolism. So, we talked about animal symbolism in the last video, but today we're going to talk about other symbolism that is used in poetry. So, words that are used in poetry that mean something else. So, I will have this ready in a slideshow presentation, but I wanted to make this video first. So let's get started. So sleep is often related to death. So if you read a poem that is talking about somebody falling asleep, it probably means that they are dying. And night is often, the word night is often suggested as darkness, death, or grief. So somebody's going through a very hard time. Dreams are linked to the future or fate. So if you read a poem about somebody dreaming, they're probably talking about their future hopes or their fates. Okay, so the seasons. So if somebody's talking about seasons, often um, it represents ages. So like winter is old age or death. So if you think about winter, all the plants are without leaves. Everything looks pretty gray and pretty lifeless. So that is where winter is represented as death. And spring, youth or new beginnings. So that's when the flowers are booming and blooming, not booming, blooming. And so it's like very youthful, everything's new, everything's happy. So youth and new beginnings. And summer is the prime of life. So that summer is when we really truly enjoy ourselves. We go out camping, we go out to the river, you go out to places and you're enjoying the time. So that is where summer represents the prime of life, the best part of your life. Whereas fall or autumn means middle age. So that is where everything is winding down, things are getting ready for that old age part. Okay, water is sometimes linked to the idea of birth and purification. So just like how you go and take a shower to get cleaned, that is like the symbolism of purification, water. Okay, so caves and underwater images often represent womb-like. So maybe this is something talking about somebody having a baby inside them, or anything that has to do with the womb. Okay, so if there's a nature imagery, so in general it is often associated with the mother or the female, so like mother nature. So yes. Okay, then we move on to the flowers, which are linked to emotions and or states of being, rose, or romance. So just how you would think that people bring flowers to their loved ones, this is where that flower represents the love. Okay, and the light as the sun, the moon, stars, and stars again. So yeah, so light is representing as the sun, the moon, the stars. Um, I'm guessing it's also like there's a light after the tunnel. You see the light after the tunnel. And candles. Often candles symbolize good or hope or freedom. So, for example, if the light goes out, so and we don't have flashlights. Back in the day, they didn't have flashlights. The light would come from a candle, so I could see how it could symbolize the hope that there's still um, some good, even though everything is dark. Okay, the moon has several associations. It sometimes represents the feminine symbol. So, like in Spanish, it's la luna. It's a feminine word. But sometimes it's associated with madness. And I'm thinking about like werewolves and how like they howl to the moon. Or if you're not into mythical creatures, maybe think about the wolf who howls to the moon. So it's like associated with that madness and sometimes with resurrection. Okay, so rainbows, are associated with hope and reward. So think about like I'm thinking about St. Patrick's Day. So like the rainbows are part of it, and how like at the end of the rainbow there's a pot of gold waiting for you. So I could see how there's a reward at the end of that rainbow. Okay, and darkness is associated, of course, with evil, magic, or the unknown. So I'm actually thinking about science, the darkness. So a black hole, which is supposedly like it's like pretty dark. It's we don't know what's inside a dark hole. So I could see how darkness is associated with the unknown. Of course, there are many meanings to these words in literature or poetry, and but these are some of the most common meanings, and it may differ from poem to poem as each poem is written in different places of the world, in different times of history. So you really do, with poetry, you really do have to do your research and look further. So look at who the author is, where, when it was written, where it was written, and basically like the history around the poem. And once again, you're not going to do anything on the slides that have this information. You're going to read the poem and then you're going to answer in the last slides.